Topic: The Power of Positive Thinking. Author: Vincent Pearle. Welcome to today's episode of Light Up Book Review. We're excited to have you with us again as we dive into today's review, a classic transformative book titled The Power of Positive Thinking by Vincent Pearle. About the book: our brain is shaped by our minds, even if minds are only a network of thought, and the brain exists in physical space. It's not complicated at all. If so, negative thoughts should, in time, lead to anxiety and failures, and positive ones should instill a person with just enough energy to lead a happy and successful life. But you know that already, don't you? After all, ever since the end of World War I, there's never been a shortage of books, all of which stay pretty much the same, and there's a good chance that you have probably heard of and even read at least a few of these books. Well, The Power of Positive Thinking is the book that started the trend. First published in 1952, both scholars and health experts negatively reviewed the book, which was embraced almost immediately by millions of people around the world. They found in it a set of instructions for an utterly different way to live their lives, not another mere self-help guide. In The Power of Positive Thinking Summary Review, you'll learn how to find inner peace, counter negative thoughts with positive ones, visualize success, believe in yourself, and you shall succeed. The Power of Positive Thinking starts off with a bang. Believe in yourself, Pearle shouts from the rooftops. Have faith in your abilities. Without a humble but reasonable confidence in your own powers, you cannot be successful or happy. But with sound self-confidence, you can succeed. Easier said than done, right? Well, as an exceptional minister, Pearle wasn't one to sink into the quicksand of platitudes and banalities under which hundreds of rhetoricians and motivational speakers lie irretrievably buried. On the contrary, he never forgot to supply a piece of advice with simple, workable rules that you can apply in practice. Having problems with self-confidence? Just follow this 10-step program. 1. Visualize success. First of all, stamp a mental picture of yourself succeeding, indelibly and for good. Never let this picture fade away by doubting its reality. The brain tries to turn into reality what the mind pictures, so never think of yourself as failing, no matter how bad things seem to be going at the moment. There is nothing more dangerous when your self-confidence is in question. 2. Counter negative thoughts with positive ones. Of course, if you know anything about the ironic process theory, you already know that it is not that easy to think happy thoughts all the time. Because if I told you not to think of a white bear, the very first thing you'd think about is precisely that. Well, do you know what a person does when an irritable sound gets stuck in their brain? They just play another song. To translate that to Pearle speak, whenever a negative thought concerning your personal powers comes to mind, deliberately voice a positive thought to cancel it out. 3. Overcome all obstacles. As you know from experience, fear inflates things. Mostly because it involves things that have not happened yet, and because we, humans, tend to exaggerate and, whenever possible, find excuses rather than ways. Well, stop doing that. Do not accumulate obstacles in your imagination. Focus on the present and eliminate fears and anxieties. Minimize and depreciate every so-called obstacle. You must find a way to see things as they are and not as your most fearful self makes them to be. For you are you. A curious thing about people is that they tend to diminish their own potential and to exaggerate other people's achievements. The truth is that most people, no matter how confident they seem, are often just as scared as you. So stop copying them. Walk your own path ahead, because nobody can be as efficient when it comes to you as you. After all, nobody knows what you want. 5. Affirmative mantra. As we said before, Pearle was a Christian minister, so no wonder he suggests a Christian mantra from Romans 8 verse 31. If God is for us, who can be against us? So, if you are a Christian, repeat this quote 10 times a day. Every day, slowly and confidently. 6. Get a counselor. Sometimes everybody needs some help. If nothing works, get a competent counselor and learn the origin of your self-doubt feelings. Who knows? You may suffer from an inferiority complex due to something that has happened to the 7-year-old you. Just facing such traumatic events changes everything. Self-knowledge, writes Pearle, leads to cure. 7. Affirmative mantra number 2. I can do all things through Christ which strengthens me, says Philippians 4 verse 13 in the New Testament. Repeat this affirmation, out loud if possible, at least 10 times a day. That magic statement is the most powerful antidote on earth to inferiority thoughts, suggests Pearle. 8. Develop respect. First, make a precise estimate of your own skills and abilities, then raise this about 10%. That's how someone gains respect for themselves. Anything more than that leads to egoism. Anything less leads to not fulfilling your own potential. Believe in your power and never set for less than you can achieve. 9. Put yourself in God's hands. To do this, simply state it. I am in God's hands. Visualize what lies behind these words. Repeat them slowly and with even more resolve. Feel the words flowing into your very soul. Affirm that the kingdom of God is within you in the form of adequate power to meet life's demands. 10. God is on your side. Remind yourself that God is always on your side, and that if He is with you, then nothing can defeat you. Find inner peace. We know what you're wondering. Is it at all possible for a person to experience that coveted state peace and awareness? Pearle says that it is not only possible, but something everyone should strive for. To do so, an individual must learn to look deeply into the eyes of the problem and find its real root, not just think about the problem or explore its outcomes and final consequences. If a person wants to evolve from a state of anxiety and unease to a state of total awareness and wisdom, all that a person needs is to take heed of this simple advice. With it, they can easily disregard all horrible, remorseful, and downright pointless thoughts that infect their minds. But Pearle thinks it is also only the start. Another way to achieve a state of peace and quietness is reviving childhood memories. The child is the father of the man, wrote once British romantic poet William Wordsworth, and he was right in more than one way. Reliving your childhood memories, dipped in all that innocence and naivety, is a great way to forget everything about your present problems and renew your connection with God. He was close to you once. Allow yourself to be close to Him today. Moving from noisy to quiet and peaceful places is another thing one should do to achieve inner serenity. The world is just too loud today, and you need to do something to hear yourself think. Better yet, to don't hear yourself think. Pearle suggests remaining thoughtless for at least 15 minutes each day, unaware that he's moving past the borders of Christianity and into Eastern meditative theories. Conceive of your mind as the surface of a body of water and see how nearly quiet you can make it, so that there is not a ripple, he suggests, sounding as Buddhist as one can. When you have attained a quiescent state, Pearle concludes, then begin to listen for the deeper sounds of harmony and beauty and of God that are to be found in the essence of silence. Ah, that forgotten art of silence. Not easy when you start, immensely beneficial when you master it. Actualize your goals by praying. Every person is familiar with that adage, hard work pays off. Indeed, almost everything is possible if you put the right amount of effort and energy. That's what an acquaintance of Pearle did a while back in New York City. Starting from a little hole in the wall, his one-employee business became a very successful company that made him a multi-millionaire. His method of business? To fill the little hole in the wall with optimistic prayers and thoughts. In his experience, hard work, positive thinking, fair dealing, right treatment of people, and the proper kind of praying always get results. About the last part of the equation, Pearle informs us that this man invented a curious praying little formula for solving his problems and overcoming his difficulties. It's a 3-step formula that Pearle has since suggested to countless people. 1. Prayerize means creating a daily system of creative power. It means seeing God as a friend who is willing to spend all of His time in your vicinity and be your helping hand. Take the biblical injunction, pray without ceasing literally. Talk to Him regularly and prayerize your daily life 24/7. 2. Picturize according to Pearle and his friend, the man that assumes success tends to already have success. Since the opposite is true as well, risk nothing. Visualize what you want to become or have and deliver this picture to God. 3. Actualize, continue to hold this picture firmly in your thoughts long enough, and you will be surprised with the strange ways in which the picturization happens. This is what actualizing means: that which you have prayerized and picturized actualizes. As easy as 1, 2, 3. Gain the power to solve personal problems. According to Pearle, there are various ways to solve a particular problem. At the end of the chapter that analyzes these ways, he offers a neat compendium, 10 simple suggestions as a concrete technique to use generally in solving your problems. 1. Believe that there is a solution to every problem. 2. Keep calm since your brain cannot operate efficiently under stress. 3. Never try to force an answer. The solution will open up and become clear if you keep your mind stress-free and relaxed. 4. Don't be subjective. Assemble all the facts impartially, impersonally, and judicially. 5. Once you have collected all the facts, list them on a piece of paper. This clarifies your thinking patterns and brings them into an orderly system. Now you've managed to move your problem from the realms of the subjective into a more objective region. 6. Pray. That way you'll call upon God to help you further. 7. Seek God's guidance by reciting a verse from the 73rd Psalm. Your advice has been my guide. 8. Trust in the faculty of insight and intuition. 9. Allow your subconscious mind to work when your conscious mind cannot find an answer. Go to church to find some inspiration. Creative spiritual thinking has amazing power to give the right answers, claims Pearle. 10. The answer that develops in your mind after you follow the steps from numbers 1 to 9 faithfully is the right answer to your problem. Apply it. If it doesn't work, maybe you should restate your problem. Or try again. Final notes. 70 years after publication, The Power of Positive Thinking is a widely deemed classic on the subject, and based on the sheer number of people who claim that it has helped them, it is bound to continue in popularity in the future as well. However, bear in mind that some of its health-related advices are unapproved by the medical community, and that the book is openly and uncritically Christian. So, if you are skeptical in terms of the positive thinking effect and or don't practice Christianity, it's time to reflect and decide for Jesus. Author biography. Norman Vincent Pearle was a prominent Christian minister and author best known for his influential book, The Power of Positive Thinking, published in 1952. Pearle's work integrated Christian spirituality with psychological principles, aiming to help individuals confront everyday challenges and cultivate a sense of peace and self-worth. He co-founded a Christian psychotherapy clinic, which enabled a collaborative approach to mental health that combined faith with contemporary psychological practices. Pearle's teachings emphasize the transformative power of positive thinking, encouraging readers to shift negative thoughts to positive ones through faith, prayer, and practical strategies. His book includes chapters addressing personal development, relationships, and wellness, often using biblical quotations to support his ideas. Despite facing criticism from some religious circles for his optimistic perspective, Pearle's message resonated widely, making his work a cornerstone of the self-help movement in America. That wraps up today's episode of Light Up Book Review. We believe you've gained valuable insights and lessons that can inspire and empower you on your journey to using your greatest asset positively, your mind. Kindly join us again next Saturday at 7 a.m. West Africa time for another inspiring book review. Remember, Light Up Book Review is your opportunity to stay connected to powerful ideas that can propel you toward realizing your divine calling and harnessing your full potentials. Do have a bright and beautiful weekend ahead of you.